Welcome back to a 55 Chevy video. A few things showed up this week from Summit. Not everything we're waiting for, but quite a bit. For starters, we can go ahead and take care of that. We got our new cap. We've got the wire separators for the back. This is actually for the Henry. This is the GPS because there's just no way that we're going to get the VSS on the transmission. Here's one set of seat tracks. The other style will be here maybe tomorrow, but at least this gives me a chance to see if we're even on the right trail. And of course, we finally got our ignition box. So let's get cracking. There. I had to modify it a little because everything new anymore you do. But that Billet Specialties cap is now on there. And of course, we got the right fitting. So we're getting there. Here's one of the slide sets. The other one hasn't shown up yet. Our biggest problem is we have to have a front control. We can't do a side control like most of your 60s and 70s GM tracks that would have the 14-inch centers. This is obviously considerably less than 14-inch center, but we can deal with that. If we had to build a frame, we can do that. Our biggest thing right now is I just measured the amount that we can slide, and this unit, it goes forward 3.5 and back 3.5, so this one will actually give us 7 inches of travel. When I slid this all the way forward, I actually only get 6 inches of travel in the stock unit. You can see it's just a touch over 6 right here down to that line, so we actually get a little more travel out of these. Now we gotta take a look and see how we want to start working this out. Like I said, we're going to wind up having to mock something. But for now, my biggest concern is let's just get something that can temporarily hold it, set it in there, see what our heights look like. Because this seat seems awful tall. Okay, this is going to look hokey because it is. But we're getting ready to test fit some height. Now, these slides have studs on them. I'm not ready to pop them out yet. If we were going to use these slides, we definitely would. We just bolted some plates on here to act as a holder for now, just so that we can see if the concept of what we're doing even makes sense. We want to get it in the car, kind of do some positioning and see if we're even, because if dropping this far isn't enough, then these seats probably won't ever look right.
Any longer. That's our trouble.
Oh, that's a trouble, but all we care about right now is getting rid of that. Oh my God. So we're going to go take a look. So I just crawled out. We've kind of got it. It's not perfectly centered or anything, but we've got her sitting here. I just sat in it. It's actually not a terrible height. We could probably make something work with this. The other big thing is once it's sitting there, we're not anywhere near as high up in the back. Plus, I intend to ditch an inch down there, or at least 3/4 of an inch. So that could help. Okay, we're not sure that this particular set is going to work. We have another set coming tomorrow that hopefully is a little more suited. I sure wish we could get this front grab and still get the 14 inches, but we're not seeing that. And one of the things we've definitely wanted to measure is the height difference here. If the slide's going to go further forward than that, I mean, we're going to have a giant spacer. Also, we get pretty close to this rod, so that's about 1/4 inch. So coming over here, pretty similar appearance. So, because one of the things we're definitely thinking is if we take just a piece of 1-inch flat stock, run it across here, bolt it in, or even weld it and weld it. We haven't decided there. That would definitely give us something we could bolt to with our slides. We just got to get it sorted out. Okay, we're still trying to figure this part out. Oh, you can keep coming up.
Is it level?
Let's see. No, a little bit more on. Now bring her up and let's see. Yeah, that's better. Yep, hear it. So, one of the things we need to see is what's going on under the floor here. I got a feeling there's more going on than I think there is. Of course there is. there's cross members. You see it over there? Okay, that's enough. So, I gotta figure out how do we get at the other side of the bolts. Okay, so we're gonna have to try to get between those two. A little bit more. Just a couple more inches so I can reach in there easy enough. And now we're just going to start trying to triangulate a seat. No matter which tracks we use, we still need to know where the seats have to be. We have the front and rear holes of the factory bench seat that we can use relative. So knowing where those are, what we may wind up doing to compensate for this height difference here on this side, since you couldn't get to the other end of a bolt, maybe we make a plate that comes across with two holes that go in and a welded stand that then the track can bolt to. So we're thinking this through, but I think the next thing we want to do is go ahead and get the driver's seat in here, since it's got that integrated center console, or that armrest, and we need to figure out where in the car the seats need to go. We're not drilling anything today. We're not even sure that we like the seat track that we have. But we have to have notes in the car knowing where things are going to go. We know that we have seen Tri-Fis with these seats in them. But we're trying to figure this out, because I'm already starting to stack an awful lot of wood, and you can see we're not even coming close to clearing out the tunnel yet. We're starting to lose all the advantage of tucking the seat down. Now I've got the seat back straight up and down, and we've got the back kind of gone. Amount of height it's taken to get that to clear, it's a little concerning. Keep looking at those angles. Okay. Unfortunately, the thing we have learned is this center console and our transmission hump, they're not going to play. It's just not possible. Not to get the seat height that makes any sense anyway. So we may be rethinking this. Just before we give up, we're going to put these super tall things back on just to see if it's even possible to center the seat on the column and keep this to the side. We're not sure, because when I tried lining this up over the trans tunnel, the seat really gets offset. But we'll find out for certain right now. Now, just like we did before with the stock ones out of the Buick, and a bunch of boards, it's really the only way we can make the center console work, because remember, there'll be carpet and stuff yet too, and it'll kind of, when it comes forward, it'll be right in here. So I've got it mid-range right now, and Harlan's sitting in it on just some boards, so don't fall over backwards, it'll hurt. But we're trying to decide, is it something we can live with and be comfortable with? You can see he sits a little higher. He's definitely not a low rider, but he's also almost 7 feet tall, so maybe he wants to sit a little higher. Yeah, and then here's our offset to the door. Isn't too bad, because remember, once you got the door closed, your leg would be over. And of course, he just found out that the clutch is real. That's a Manly Man clutch. So, yeah, we gotta think about it. We gotta say, we're still thinking about it, but don't think these Buick seats are gonna work for us. Just to make that centerpiece work, you gotta sit up so high that, neither one of us feel real happy about it. So we're looking at other options, maybe a straddle bucket, maybe something else. Who knows, maybe even going back to just a nice bench seat and having it custom covered. Yeah, bummer. These they look so massive. They're comfy seats, but they're going to be too big. Well, we're sad about that, but we're pretty happy that we got this to work. It was brand new, but you still have to take this all apart and grind it down to fit. But with that little O-ring seal and it's spring-loaded, that's pretty good. We're pretty happy with that. It's built specialty, so obviously not free. we're still super stoked about those. And I did get some 3 and 4 floating plug wire hangers, so we'll get those put on the next time we're playing back in there. Just trying to keep anything from being damaged. Obviously that came, so we put that on, and that keeps these nice and stiff and out of the way, because you know how power steering is. Every time you hit the release, these things are going to jump a little. So let's take any stress off of them. And just knackered on that, but those just aren't going to look right. What else did we do? Not much else. A lot of measuring, a lot of complaining, a lot of digging through. The bench seat for this car, you know, that came with this car, obviously would need reupholstered and everything, but it doesn't matter. Anything we do is going to need upholstery. So, I don't know. We got to think about it. So, okay. That's probably it for today. This has been another ShopRex approved video.